It's 3:42 p.m., South China Sea. The radar operator on the USS John Finn, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, notices a new contact. Two warships have appeared at the edge of the display, both moving at flank speed. The tracker zooms in and confirms the silhouettes, Chinese Type 052D destroyers. These are not patrol ships. They are frontline combat vessels, equipped with phased array radars and long-range anti-ship missiles. Officially, the USS John Finn is conducting routine operations. Calm water, clear skies. But this is not a routine patrol. Deep in the ship's hold, in a magnetically sealed and shielded cargo bay, is Project Chimera, a prototype submarine-launched hypersonic weapons system, a technology that, theoretically, shouldn't exist for another decade. The John Finn's mission isn't freedom of navigation, it's to transport Chimera to the naval base in Guam undetected. A voice on the bridge breaks the silence. Contact. Two vessels, bearing 138, heading toward us. Speed. 40 knots. 40 knots is not routine. 40 knots is pursuit speed. The first officer steps toward the windows and raises binoculars. The wakes behind the Chinese vessels are long and white. The ships look like they are cutting the ocean in half. The captain enters the bridge. He does not speak. He watches. The room is quiet, except for the soft hum of the engines and the beeps from the radar. A new update comes from the Combat Information Center, CIC. CPA projection, less than 2 nautical miles. Both vessels on intercepting course. Anything under 2 miles between warships is a direct challenge. But this is different. The captain feels a cold dread. They know, the captain whispers to himself. They know we have it. The two Chinese destroyers continue closing the distance. Their hull numbers appear, one on each side of the John Finn's bow. They are now close enough to identify the class without a doubt. In the CIC, the SLQ-32 electronic warfare system starts chirping frantically, pulling signatures. Every radar pulse the Chinese ships emit is analyzed. But there's something wrong. An officer shouts, "New behavior." Starboard vessel has changed radar mode. It's not surface search, it's penetration scan. Penetration scan means the Chinese aren't just painting the American ship. They are using a low-frequency pulse, actively trying to scan inside the hull of the USS John Finn. They are looking for Project Chimera. The captain stays calm, but his order is sharp. Activate shadow. Mask the hull signature immediately. I want all electronic countermeasures active. Do not let them get a lock. The Chinese destroyers shift positions. Instead of converging, they move to a parallel run, one on each side of the American ship. They are boxing the John Finn in. This is not a chance encounter. This is a hunt. China wasn't just patrolling. They were waiting. They knew the prototype was on the move, and this was their chance to capture it, or at the very least, prove its existence to the world. The captain orders the launch of an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter. The Seahawk lifts off and banks toward the Chinese ships. But this helicopter isn't on an intelligence-gathering mission. It's on a defensive mission. It flies low, positioning itself between the Chinese destroyer and the John Finn, ready to deploy countermeasures if the Chinese radars try to achieve a weapons-grade lock on the mothership. The Chinese destroyers react instantly. One of the ships fires a bright green targeting laser at the helicopter. It's not a warning. It's an attempt to blind the pilot's sensors. The helicopter crew doesn't back off. The Seahawk's FLIR sensor locks onto the laser source. Laser source identified, marking coordinates. Back on the bridge, sailors listen as a radio message bursts through VHF in Mandarin. Unidentified American warship. You are in Chinese territorial waters. Leave immediately. The bridge response is short, standard, but filled with tension. This is a United States naval vessel operating in accordance with international law. We will continue our operations. No raised voice, no emotion, just procedure. But the Chinese ships do not leave. They tighten the formation again. The distance narrows to less than 500 meters. The tension is almost physical. For 30 agonizing minutes, the three ships sail at high speed, in silence. The American captain knows he cannot win this battle of attrition. His mission is not to prove a point about international waters. His mission is to protect Chimera. He looks at the radar. The Chinese are perfectly positioned to block any attempt to break for open water. "They're funneling us," the first officer says. The captain sees a single opening. A risky move. "Helmsman, prepare for flank maneuver. Engine room, I need everything you've got. Now." The captain grabs the radio. "All hands, brace for high-speed evasive maneuver." Without warning, the USS John Finn turns sharply 30 degrees to starboard, its turbines screaming. The ship leans dangerously as it accelerates, cutting across the bow of the nearest Chinese destroyer. The maneuver catches the Chinese captains by surprise. Their ship has to slow down drastically to avoid a collision. The John Finn shoots through the gap. The CIC announces an update. Chinese vessels reducing speed, breaking formation. They are turning, they are trying to follow, but they've lost position. The captain doesn't react. He only says, "Maintain course. Flank speed. Get us out of here." The ocean feels wider again. Later, when the log is reviewed, analysts will see something bigger than a close encounter. China wasn't testing reactions. It was confirming intelligence. They knew the U.S. had something. Now they had proof. The interception wasn't a failure for China. It was a confirmation that Project Chimera was real. A young sailor asks quietly, "Are they going to come after us again?" No one answers. They all know the truth. Modern war isn't about who has the biggest ships. It's about who has the best-kept secrets. The USS John Finn sails forward, steady and deliberate. The water behind it churns white. Ahead, only open water and the horizon. The encounter is over, but the hunt has begun. The project no one was supposed to find was, for a brief moment, found. And now, the invisible arms race has just become far more dangerous.